I am. Yeah, it's good. Good change of pace.
What are you looking for on the first day when the pads come on as compared to the previous practices you've had so far?
Well, two things: that we're still disappointed with the actual concepts we're doing and the scheme part of things. That just because you got pads on doesn't mean you handle that differently. Number two, that we learn how to practice the right way, and while it's still physical, we're still taking care of each other and not taking cheap shots on guys. But our guys have done a good job of that the last couple of years.
I feel like this is probably the feistiest game you've had so far in your time here.
No?
Do you feel like that is one of the biggest strengths to get off to a good start? Is guys knowing how to practice,
Yeah.
get the most out of, the unpadded practice, no
Right.
shoulder pads. Your tempo and everything, you got the most out of it you could, didn't you?
The last couple of days, the last 5? Yeah. I think so. I think it's progressed well for us just in terms of the acclimation period, really. And so I think our guys are in good shape, and we've got a lot of our scheme in. And so now you get a chance to take the next step. You put on the pads. And it comes at a good time. We put on the pads for one day, and then we have a walkthrough day only tomorrow, get a chance to recover, and then 2 more padded practices later in the week. So I think it's a good way of doing things.
What do you need to see out of Miles Murphy in this setting, seeing him really go full speed for the first time?
Just continue to improve every day. We're not going to overreact to good or bad. In the first couple padded practices, it's continue to improve on his technique and things that Marion's working on him with, and I think that goes for all those rookies.
What have just been your impressions of him so far?
Impressions of him? Good. I think just overall, I'll just keep all the rookies together, and I think everybody's progressing in a positive manner right now.
You guys have been so good at taking a lot of pride in the way you wrap up tackle in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Does that kind of those principles start today?
The defense has really been focused on the tackling and takeaway circuit, even the last couple of days without the pads on. Today is our first team tackling drill where, we do it in space against the offensive players and with the defense. Jordan Kovacs gave a great presentation tomorrow on why we do the drills. Great examples from last season where these drills came up and our guys handling them the right way. So there's an element today now that you put the pads on where you can focus more on the team tackling portion of things, and our guys take it really seriously and they utilize it as a way to improve their technique.
So tackling can be a lot about, obviously, technique at the point of attack, but it's also about speed, getting to the target. Do you feel that's one area your defense has improved? Speed?
Oh, sure. Yeah, sure. I think we have great team speed on defense, and really, you look at all 3 levels of it. Guys are popping in my head that are really great athletes. And I think we detailed on defense. We detailed on special teams. Special team stuff obviously carries over. A lot of Darren and Colt's drills that they do certainly carry over to the offensive and defensive players as we do the tackling stuff.
We saw Burrow walking through the locker room yesterday. Any updates on him and how he came in the last few days?
No updates on him.
How involved has he been, as he still, even though he can't be on the field, as y'all are looking to install scheme and do stuff like that, how involved has he been throughout the whole process?
Involved, same as usual.
From your experience, when the pads come off for the first day, what's the biggest mistake you'll see you guys make?
Well, abandoning technique, now just guys seemingly think it's just all about the physical and the hitting and your alignment, knowing what to do with your assignment, and still applying the proper technique. And so, again, we just try to show examples to our guys of what we're looking for in one-on-ones. That's a great time to really work on your technique, and you're just in a one-on-one setting, and you're trying to win the rep, but it's also just an incredible opportunity to really work on something you want to focus on that day. And for veterans, they get a chance maybe to work on some more nuanced thing that they're trying to work on. For the rookies, it's just a great chance to be in the spotlight and showcase their abilities.
Joe's a big lifting guy. Is he still
Say it one more time.
Joe's big in the gym and lifting.
Jonah?
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
Yeah,
Okay.
Is he still able to lift?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So he's still getting that.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things is you're not necessarily taking guys to the ground, you're not tackling.
Yeah.
But you have a better idea if the offensive guys finish a play, if the defensive guys separate the play, all that good thing with shoulder pads. Is that the next?
Yeah. I mean, again, it's thud for us. The physical portion of things is really going to come up front, with the O-line, the D-line, the linebackers, the backs, and pass protection. When you say the pads are coming on, there's an element of that for the receivers and for the safeties, but when you're not tackling, it gives you a better chance to see the guys up front, the offensive linemen, the defensive line, the backers, and the backs in the protection. Because even when you see a back burst through the hole carrying the ball on a tight zone run, you really can't evaluate whether or not that was a great run from a physical standpoint for them, because they're not going to take them to the ground. And so they're going to try to get the ball out and punch it and rake it and do all that stuff, and the back's got to finish the runs. But that stuff comes up more in the games.
Irv Smith, what have been your impressions of him, and is it kind of maybe the most disappointing aspect of Burrow's injury that they didn't have this period to kind of get a little more acclimated?
Not necessarily. I would say one way to describe, one sentence to describe Irv is super locked in. Like this dude is focused, and that's a credit to him. That's a credit to James. That's a credit to the tight end room as a whole is really this close knit. They're all helping each other get better and bring guys up to speed on maybe some of the stuff we've done in the past. I've seen Irv's attention to detail has been outstanding. Exactly what we're looking for. And so, he gets a chance just to get the reps in our system, and then when Burrow comes back, they'll have plenty of opportunity to gain that connection together. But I don't think it's a negative thing right now. He's getting plenty of reps just on our overall system, and I think he's doing a really good job locking in and being detailed on it.
You guys talk much about other ways that they can find a way to kind of work on a potential connection?
I haven't.
Natural.
No, I when Burrow comes back, they'll have that opportunity, but that hasn't been something we focused on them. Like going in the parking lot after practice and working on over-the-shoulder catches or anything like that. I don't think that they've done that. Maybe they have. I don't know.
Well, kind of along those lines, as Burrow is trying to get back from this, given how kind of he's wired, you kind of have to make sure that he's taking things slowly and doing things he needs to, and not maybe pushing himself to get back as quickly as possible.
Well, there's a rehab process that he goes through, and really I stay out of that, and let that be Matt Summers and Nick and Joey and the element in the weight room. Burrow's really disciplined, and he knows not to do the right things at the right time and still be locked in on the scheme and those conversations that we have.
How important is it to have that discipline to be able to not push yourself and kind of be able to get back when you need to get back?
Yeah, it's those guys can speak to that better than I can. To be honest with you, that's not something I've gone through in the last 20 years, and so those guys, have a better feel for it, and they got great communication with Matt and his staff, and so got a lot of trust that we're always handling that the right way. That our trainers, first of all, know when to push them and when to pull back, and do a great job at educating the players on that.
As a head coach, what are you taking the most from in the wide receiver cornerback battles, which from our point of view seems to be very intense, very good?
Yeah. There's a lot. I mean, there's just been some great plays all around. Each corner and safety really come to mind on certain plays that stand out in a really positive way. And then the receivers being real honed in on the technique and how to complement the routes. And I think it's really good work from both sides. I don't always picture it as a one-on-one battle. I just look at some things offensively, calling plays that I think are going to be successful based on what I've seen from corners in the past couple of days, and then the corners do a great job of covering it and being disciplined there, and that's a credit to Chuck and Rob. And so it's been fun just to watch both sides progress over these last 5 days.
Since you guys hired Frank, was there a conscious decision to get some physically bigger offensive linemen? He has a very big line.
Yeah, we're just looking for really good linemen, and they happen to be big right now. So, I think that the not only is everybody in that room, I think off to a really good start in camp, and we're excited, for a lot of our starting linemen to be back and get a chance to get more reps together. But I think from top to bottom, that room, the depth is really good. Even at whoever you'd perceive as the last man in the room, like it's not somebody you got to coach around with the threes out there in practice and make sure they don't get somebody hurt, and you'd be afraid to put them in a preseason game, which you dealt with in years past, over 15 years, and I think that this group's really done a good job, and from top to bottom, those guys all belong, and that's good to see.
Zach, is there any benefit to Joe being present at practice, watching practice, or is that time better spent doing other things?
maybe if he was a rookie, in his first year and was seeing it all for the first time, maybe we watched the tape so much. He's up there watching every rep. So whether he was out there on the field watching it live, the only thing he can't do is hear the communication, but he's always the one who's done the communication 100 more times than our other quarterbacks have. So he's a part of all those conversations.
Not being out there, is he able to just get more treatment?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a better time. There's no one else in there. He gets a chance to rehab, do some stuff in the weight room. It's good.
We saw Cheeto blaze through some sprints yesterday.
Yeah.
What's the timetable for him? When do you expect him?
Yeah, I won't put a timetable on him. Again, ease him into it. And I just really, I'm always pleased with Cheeto. Cheeto's, he never lets you down. That guy's worked the right way. He's put himself in a position to have a great year, and we're not going to do anything to disrupt that. So I think right now him doing individual, him doing walkthroughs, him doing a little bit of rehab work when he needs to has been a good plan for him right now.
How good is it as a head coach to see that in the wide receiver corner battle? It's not one-sided. Defensive backs win their share, receivers win their share. It's got to be a good thing to see.
Yeah, it is. Again, we've got talent. Number one, I think they're well coached. Number two, and they all have a chip on their shoulder to get better every single day, and so that's a pretty good recipe for success amongst those two groups.
Jake Browning shared that another team tried to sign him off the practice squad last year, and it was one of the reasons why the Bengals promoted him to the roster. Yep. How has he evolved over the last couple of years to the point that he's been able to go out these first few days and run the offense so smoothly?
I think just getting reps. A lot of times when I think he was undrafted. Undrafted guys get into the league. They don't get a lot of reps, so they don't get a great opportunity to. Maybe they get 2 or 3 reps in practice. If one of them goes negative, those reps turn into 1 or 2 the next day. And so I can't speak to Jake's early part in his career, but since he's been here, we've tried to make an effort to get him as many reps as possible, so we get an accurate representation of what he is. Because I've been in quarterback rooms forever, and until they accumulate a lot of reps, you really can't assess what they are about. And so this has been really good for Jake to have these opportunities. We think highly of him. He's locked in the quarterback room. He brings something to the table in the quarterback room. So number one, that's a good thing when you've been on the scout team the last couple of years. And then number two, he's a talented player who makes things happen when he's out there. He's done a really good job evolving in our offense the last couple of years. And now he's getting a chance to get a lot of reps with Trevor. And so that's been really good to see the progression he's continuing to make.
Between now and the Packers scrimmage, what do you want to see? What are the things that you've got on those scripts every day that you want to emphasize to get ready for Green Bay and that first preseason? Yeah,
we're doing our best to get everything in, before Green Bay next Wednesday. So really, we're a week out from liking to get everything in, and that's situational. That's in a game and a half. Situations that may come up once or twice a year. So our guys understand it. And so then when Green Bay comes to town, everything's there. Now we get a chance to start repeating everything over and over for the remainder of the preseason games. And so, again, what you get to assess a lot of the younger players, newer players, okay, how well have they balanced all the installation that they're hearing maybe for the first or second time? But then they get a chance just for the next 4 weeks just to repeat it over and over and play at a high level in these games. And so that's how we've set up the training camp, and I think it's been effective for us. Okay, thank you.